Welcome to the Strategic Oracle, the transmission space where timing meets soul and wealth begins with the rhythm. Let's begin. We're in the last lunar phase of 2025. It's a new moon on the 19th, and the sun and the moon meet in 28 degrees Sagittarius. What does that mean? That means that we are at the beginning of something new. We are experiencing things and viewing them and seeing patterns. And it's almost like it's a kaleidoscope, no pun intended with the name of my business. And you just, remember when you look through a kaleidoscope and you have one eye closed, peering through that lens of it looks like a telescope, and you just turn something ever so slightly and the entire picture changes. That's why I picked the name for this company, by the way. That's exactly what this new moon is like. Sagittarius is about experiencing. It's not necessarily thinking about something. It's about, I want to do something. I want to be out in the world. I want to be meeting people. I want to be having conversations. I want to be learning things and doing things and exploring and discovering and strategizing. And Sagittarius is almost like the everything of everything. And all of a sudden, we have the sun and the moon here. They meet every year. So, what makes this different? Honestly, nothing really. I don't look at this chart and say, oh my God, it's the new moon of the year and all the things. No, it's just that it's at 28 degrees. So it's super cuspy because it's almost at the end. And it's a 1 because 2 + 8 = 1. And so there is this import of that. Plus, here we are at the end of a 5-year segment. 5 years ago on the solstice is when we hit the new era. And so here we are. It's half a decade. And in half a decade, what have we learned? What have we done? What have we laid groundwork for? How are we standing on some sort of foundation that's also a precipice? That's what this is about. It's like, how have I created a launch point for myself? And if I just turn like half a degree, how does the picture change everything? And so we have this moment in time. There's a still point when we hit these lunar phases, and the full and the new moon are the ones that we mark most readily. And on the new moon, it's about manifestation. With the number 1, it's a manifestation. With the fiery energy of Sagittarius and all of the bigness. I mean, it's a huge energy. Sagittarius is just a huge energy. It's like 10 lives in one. And so when we think about that, where do we want to place our foot forward next? Because in just a few days, 2 to be exact, we're going to be at the point where we are in the solstice. It's going to kick off a new season, and it's going to kick off the sun being in Capricorn, and that's when things become real. So for the next breath or two, the next day or two, we have the fact that things don't have to be super real right now. They can still be in that vibrant fire of creation. So what do we want to create? Well, some of that is going to be surprising. Some of that is going to be new. It's going to be future-oriented. Other parts of it are going to be to break us away from feeling alone or trapped. It's going to be making sure that we do have the fortitude and stamina to take those big leaps and believe in them. Sagittarius is about faith. It's if I was standing on that precipice and there was no net or anything below me, would I step off and believe that I could fly? How about it? How about taking this new moon and wondering that? That would be really super cool. Now, we don't have to be ridiculous, kind of, because Uranus is involved. But he's not involved in that big, huge way that he was in the last lunar cycle. He wasn't involved in the big way he was in the second week of December. He really was shocking because he and Mars were wrangling with each other. And so that was like big, shocking things. But from a personal perspective, what could you do with just one decision, one action, one moment? And you could like literally widen the lens on that, put a magnifying lens on that and say, what if I made this one moment really big? Was there someone that you talked to? Was there a wish that you had? Was there something that gained a little tiny bit of momentum, but you forgot about this year? Is there something that you're thinking, gee, I'm leaving a lot behind, which is good, but guess what? I should be teasing this out a little bit more, and I should be opening the threads and saying, maybe there's part of this that I want to move forward. And oh, by the way, that's you. What part of you do you want to move forward the most? Let's just really vibe with that. Now, it's really interesting because I know that the crystal of the month is rhodonite, and rhodonite came in and just kind of stood in front of me. He was like, yeah, but no. And so I walked around and I have a ton of crystals. And so the crystal that came popping out was a manifestation crystal that I have. And it's a clear quartz tower. They don't always have to be. But in this case, it is. And it's iridescent on the inside because it has inclusions on the inside that look like a smaller crystal inside the larger one. That's a manifestation crystal. So what you do is you think about those things that you want to plant for seeds and you put them in, quote unquote, mindfully put them in the tiny crystal, and you allow the larger one to provide the container, the structure, the energy, the moat, the buffer, if you will, around that tiny seed. And so I love manifestation crystals. This has been on my altar, and I had a retreat here in my home, and people were touching everything and really enjoying everything and loving it and all of that. And so this crystal was moved. And so it came out to me today and said, hey, we haven't talked in a while. And so I thought, this would be a really good time to talk about manifestation because it is the new moon. And it's the last new moon of the year. So we get a little poignant around this time. It's really because we're stepping into Capricorn, honestly, because Saturn makes us look at all the things we've done and look at the things we haven't done. And quite frankly, he makes us feel bad about it. So we don't want to feel badly. We want to just take a moment and just say, you know what? If we think about the goals we had at the beginning of 2025 and we think about where we are now, we often just have gaps. We're just like, oh my God, I didn't do this. Oh my God, I didn't do that. What if we just gave those over and said, so what? Put those to the side. Who cares about what we didn't do? Okay, about what we did do. What about those things do we want to say, yeah, that's a really good seed planting for next year? Now, you may have already done all your strategy. You may be really ready for 2026, and that's awesome. But maybe there's one or two things that you want to be reflective about and just kind of stir. And maybe there's something deep in your heart that you'd want to say, yeah, I really want to plant this seed. Maybe you've always wanted to speak on a certain stage or meet a certain person or have a conversation about something that you're rabid about, but haven't really wanted to, quote unquote, come out of the closet about being a disruptor or about having an opinion on something that may not be popular. Or it could be something quieter. I want to take more time off. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to be nurtured and loved in a different way. I want to love myself in a different way. I want to have a better rhythm every day or every week or every month or every quarter. Those are the things. Let's plant those seeds because we are in the fire of creation for Sagittarius, where all things we can have the faith of taking that leap and all things can come true. So with all of that, I want you to close your eyes. Come into your space. If you're driving, never close your eyes. And just take a breath or two. And I want you to envision that your heart is like a seedling. It's your favorite flower. Maybe it's a tree. Maybe it's a beautiful plant. If you don't run towards flowers, you can be a little baby animal. Sagittarius loves all the kingdoms. And you're just with this little baby animal or this little baby bud, and you're envisioning it just coming right out of your heart, and you're holding your hands together, and you're looking at it fondly, beautifully, and you're saying, yes, I wish. Yes, I dream. Yes, I have faith that this will come true. It is here now happening. I've planted the seeds. You take that beautiful little inkling of a seed, of a plant, of a baby animal, and you envision putting it right into a beautiful center of a clear quartz. And the tiny bud holds the wish, the dream. And the outer layer of the crystal gives it structure and form and is a beautiful container to keep it safe. And then you imagine the sun and the moon illuminating. You can imagine, this is magic. We can imagine anything. You imagine it's really like that full moon of light, which we know it's not at this time, but we can envision anything. And we imagine the sun is shining in the sky, even though it's nighttime. And we have this beautiful illumination. Well, we can envision it like a star. It illumes in the dark. And the ceiling has all the light. The crystal has those inclusions, so it has those fractals. Of all those iridescent colors, all the colors of the universe. And we hold this crystal in our hand, and we breathe in yes. Here now, my wishes, my dreams, my envisioning. Here's my heart in the world. And we let it just go up into the sky and sail off. Imagine it part of a hot air balloon, or on a magic carpet, or on the wings of an eagle. Maybe it's a kite itself. And it goes high up in the sky and it becomes huge. It's enormous up there in the sky. You can imagine searchlights finding it and it illuminating, just like the bat signal, it illuminates in the sky. There's your wish shining down on the world, shining down on you. You could say yes. In this fiery creation, we allow our mind to clear, our heart to open, and our will to activate, giving it power and construct and resources and energy and a timeline as we say yes. For the wise strategist, the intuitive visionary, the clear mind opens and allows all those brilliant ideas to feed into that wish and that dream. For collaborative explorers and ruling warriors, you allow the connective network of all those who you know can help build momentum. And then for the loving alchemist and the creative superstar, we drop into our bellies and we infuse our greatest wisdom and our biggest power to allow the value of that beautiful receiving container to open wide. So we have that gorgeous reciprocity. What you crave craves you. And with that, we let the energy unfold. Allow it to breathe and simmer and glimmer and glow. And allow yourself to know without a doubt this comes true with but a wish. And as you come back to your space, if your eyes have been closed, you open them and you smile. And you take a nice, beautiful inhale and an exhale. And 1 and 2 more. As you roll your fingers and your wrists and your ankles and your toes, roll your neck, rub your hands together. Giving great thanks to the sun, the moon, all the planets in the sky, the earth, the elements, and the crystalline structure. All the kingdoms, plant, animal, mineral. As we have this new moon awaiting the new season, awaiting the new year. Yes to the yes, to the yes, to the yes, to the yes. Now, as you're listening to this, if you haven't registered for the forecast on January 8th, you're going to want to do so. Go ahead and send an email to kwteam@kimwoods.com or look in the show notes for the link to register. It's by invitation only. It's a celebratory encore because we had so much activity and desire to attend. And we got great feedback from the first one we held at the first week of December. So with that, happy new moon, happy new year, and happy, happy, happy dreams coming true. You've been listening to the Strategic Oracle, where success isn't scaled from speed, but from soul. If this stirred something real, follow it. Apply for activation, enter the vault, or pause right here. Integration is leadership too. Because the truth is, you were never meant to chase the timing. You are meant to become it.